Well, welcome. My name is Mark Tips, and I'm the athletic director here at MBA, and I just want to welcome our boys here today that we're celebrating, their classmates in the senior class, and parents and friends and coaches and whoever else we have, and faculty and staff. We're really proud of you guys. I want to say before we start that Mr. Joya would very much love to be here today. I spoke with him this morning. He, as some of you may know, he starts his chemotherapy this morning. So he sends his regards and his best wishes for you gentlemen, and just wants you to know that he would be here if he possibly could, and I know you'll join me in keeping him in your thoughts and your prayers as he goes through obviously a difficult time. Today we celebrate our 2016 seniors who are going to go on and play sports in college. I will say parenthetically, we have several others who will also be playing sports in college, but they have not decided where they're going to go, or they're waiting to see where they get in. And so our plan will be to have another one of these ceremonies in a couple of months so that we can celebrate all of them. But today we've got these five gentlemen, Jordan and Joseph, Will, Connor, and Wilson. We're very proud of you. This is the culmination of a lot of work. I've sat where you were last year as a parent, and it's a proud moment. You've spent hours, as in thousands of hours, going to practices, going to the swimming pool at the crack of dawn, being at the golf course at the crack of dawn, being at football practices from the time they were little, and going to baseball practices and showcases and tournaments all over the world in some of the most dreadful locations you can imagine. And so I know that this is a culmination of a lot of effort for you as parents and also for you boys. And I'm so happy for you, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to be rewarded. I can speak, and I think I speak for a lot of our coaches along this wall, and several of the ones who will speak, that 4 of the happiest years of my life were 4 years that I played football at a small college. My best friends, even though it's been 35 years, are the guys that I played with. They're the people who will be in your wedding, along with the folks that you've made friends with here at MBA. They'll be the godfathers to your children. And it's just a great thing to do. You'll make some tremendous friends, and you'll have wonderful times playing sports. And you'll make memories that you'll keep, and you'll think about a lot as you get older. So this is a special time, and I hope you'll soak it in and enjoy it. I do want to say one other thing. I'm really proud not only that we have these boys participating today, but I'm proud if you'll look at the schools they're going to. These are great schools academically. And I'm all for sports, but we're here first and foremost at this school for academics. And at the end of the day, that's what counts the most. And if you look at UCLA and Columbia and Villanova, Kenyon College and Center College, those are all among the very best schools in this country, and I'm just really proud of you guys for choosing schools like that. And I know that no matter what happens with your athletic career, you're going to be well taken care of, and you're to be commended on making such good decisions, and you parents, I know, gave them a lot of guidance. So here's how we're going to proceed. We've got Coach Uverard, Coach Anderson, Coach Jackson, and Coach Phillips here. We'll go in that order. Coach will come up, say something about his player or players, and then we're going to have pictures. So parents, extended family, whoever you want, low-key, come up. The student will sign their letter, and we'll take a picture of that. And then we can have pictures with your coach and family, just with your family, whatever you want to do. And then when we finish pictures, we'll move to the next player, and the coach will say something about that player, and then we'll do pictures. When we're done, we're going to cut all these cakes, and you will see them disappear faster than you have ever seen cake disappear in your life, because all these guys are going to come down, and they're going to... Yeah. So parents, if you want a piece, my advice from last year is you better get it really fast, because in about 12 seconds it'll be gone. And that'll be the end of our ceremony. At the end, you can stay as long as you like, visit, and just proud of your boys and proud to have you here today. So let me start off. The first athlete that we're going to honor is Jordan Wilson, and Coach Uvar will come up and talk about Jordan for just a minute.
Thanks, Mark. Good morning. We have two football players here that's going to sign football scholarships this morning. And I have to say this, over the past 3 years of varsity football, these two guys have led MBA to a 32-6 record, a semifinal appearance, a state championship, and a state runner-up finish. And just great football players, going to continue to play, but even better young men, and that's what I think MBA is all about, and I know that's what our MBA football program is all about, and I appreciate these two guys for that and their commitment to being a good person. All right, I'll start with Jordan. Jordan was a 1-year and 1-game starter for us here on the football team at tight end. As a junior at camp in Bell Buckle, I've told this story many times, but in a drill that we do called Oklahoma, he came in and made a big hit. We moved a tall, skinny wide receiver to tight end because, first of all, we needed one, and second of all, Jordan showed us that day that he wasn't afraid or scared to mix it up. He just wasn't one of those guys that liked to stay on the outside. And we moved him to tight end, thankfully, and he had a great year, and that's when a lot of colleges started taking notice of him, and let it help lead us to a state championship. And then this year, adversity hit with his foot, stress fracture, and he had to have surgery. So he missed every game of his senior year except the first one. We played a very good Alabama team, and he caught a touchdown pass, instrumental in us beating those guys down there. But just a great kid. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see him play all the games that we needed him to this year, but just a tremendous career here at MBA, and I'm very proud of what he's done. And Jordan is going to continue his education and play football at UCLA. Help me out with this. This is the University of California at Los Angeles. Is that correct? UCLA, Jordan Wilson.
Y'all come on up, get behind him. Already jumping on good one.
And now for the Joe Scow. Joseph was a 2-year starter for us at offensive line, offensive tackle. Played guard and tackle for us, was our big left tackle for us this year, protecting Glenn Coleman. Did a tremendous job for us. He was selected to the All-Region team, Division II All-Region team. He was also one of our captains this year. Did a tremendous job leading the football team, especially pregame out on the football field. He got some hype moments for our guys out there. And he was somewhat of a rock star in the locker room. Guys just are drawn to him, just his good nature and just how that smile just brights up a room. And he's pretty mean kind of on the football field, but in the locker room, he reminds me just of a big old teddy bear. And might have one of the biggest heads I've ever coached in football. But a tremendous person, great. He's going to do great. And when he first told me about Columbia, I was like, New York City. I said, Joseph Scowden in New York City. That's not going to work. But the more I thought about it, the more it is going to work. But Joseph is going to continue his education and play football at Columbia University. So Joseph Scowden.
Our next student athlete is Will Allen, who will continue his education and baseball career at Kenyon College up in Ohio, and I'll ask our baseball coach, Mike Anderson, to say a few words.
Good morning. I remember the first day that I sat down with Will and his father. He was a very shy young man who had very specific desires in his life. One, he wanted a great academic challenge. Two, he wanted an expanded baseball experience to make him a better player. I know that he received both. Will came to MBA as a sophomore, knowing very few people. His positive attitude and unparalleled work ethic made him a great fit among his peers. He did everything asked of him and more. This work ethic and attitude earned him a spot on the varsity. So when Will became eligible to play at the end of his sophomore season, he pitched in key situations and finished with a 2.65 ERA. During his junior year, he was a workhorse and finished third on the team with innings pitched. However, this season, his role will be much different. Will not be able to play his senior campaign. He injured his arm this summer while pitching and had Tommy John surgery early this fall. During this diagnosis, Will never complained, but attacked this setback with an incredibly positive attitude to play again, and he earned just that. Will is blessed with an opportunity to continue his academic and athletic pursuit next year at Kenyon College. He is an outstanding young man whom we are very proud of. Congratulations, Will.
Our next student athlete is Connor Downey, and he will continue his education and play golf at Villanova University in Philadelphia. And I will ask Coach Sean Jackson to come up and say a few words.
Good morning. My first memory of Connor was at the West Haven Golf Course, hole number 4. I was coming off the green of number 3, and I could see this little 6th or 7th grader teeing off on hole number 4. And picture the scene, because I'm looking at the tee, but I have a tree in front of me, so I can't see where the ball's going to go. So it's one of those things where you see somebody hit, and you just look at the reaction of the player to see where it is. Well, he hit the ball, and a millisecond after contact, throws his hands up in disgust, and it's like he shanked a shot, right? We've all been there. So I walk around to the tee box and see, okay, where's the ball? Maybe it's 50 feet in front of him and so forth. It was on the fringe on the front end of the green. And from that moment, I said, this guy has some high expectations. All right. Now, I followed Connor through the tournaments he played in junior high. I watched him win the HVAC as an 8th grader at Harding Academy. And, of course, thrilled after that, learning that he was going to come to MBA. This big tournament experience paid off in a lot of ways. A lot of times in our high school season, we may think the state tournament is kind of the most pressure-packed event, but really not. It's the regions. Okay, the regions are a one-day event, 18 holes, anything could happen. And it's those events that kind of you can tell, what the person is made of. And it's those events that Connor shined. He shot a 71 both his junior and senior year in those years. Without those scores, that would have been the last event of our year. Right? So that was a very big deal. However, saying all of this, I don't think that's going to be Connor's legacy here at MBA. He experienced a lot of injuries throughout his whole high school years, missing almost entire summer seasons. And even the senior year, missed the first half of the season because of an injury. Now, through all that, he kept at it, had a lot of enthusiasm, optimism, more so than you would expect from somebody that had gone through that. So much so that it was contagious, okay, with everybody around him. That's what I'm going to remember about Connor, as much as that. His enthusiasm, getting teammates around him, rallying around things, getting people involved in things. That's what I'm going to remember about him. There's a verse in Philippians, chapter 3. It's very clear. It talks about forgetting what is behind and straining and reaching toward what lies ahead. I think Connor was very good at doing that. You could always get discouraged and stuff with an injury, especially in golf. It takes a while. But he always strained and looked for the things ahead. And I think going forward at Villanova, that will carry him through this next stage of his life, whether it's through golf or what he wants to do with business or whatever he wants to do. That's going to be one of the keys. Thank you.
Our next student athlete is Wilson Norris, and he will continue his education and continue his swim career at Center College up in Danville, Kentucky. I'm going to ask Coach Nathan Phillips to come up and say a few words.
First, I'd like to thank Mr. Tips, MBA, for putting this on today. We also need to thank Wilson's teachers, his coaches, like T.J. Liston with NAC, Coach Lovelace, Coach Kenyon. We need to also thank the students here because, you know, without your support of your buddies, none of these guys would be up here, as well as their teammates. And most importantly, the parents. Driving these kids around all their lives, getting them to where they need to be. None of these kids could do it without you. So we really appreciate parents here today. So today we're celebrating Wilson Norris signing with Center College to go swim with them. On a side note, which very few people in here know, Will Allen and Joseph Scouten up here, really good swimmers also. Little tidbits of knowledge. Now, I'd like to make the case that Wilson Norris is one of the greatest athletic stories in the history of MBA. A big statement for a big heart. Now, most athletes up here were good in their sports at an early age. 3 years ago, Wilson joined the MBA swim team. He told me, "Coach, I'm a triathloner. I run, I bike, I swim. I really only swim in lakes and like to get better in that area of the triathlon." Well, I'm thinking, okay, you know, we'll help you out. And when he started, you know, he swam like a paddleboard, nice and flat. He couldn't do flip turns. I guess he couldn't really practice those in a lake when he swam. And he was a project, to say the least. His first race, I remember it like it was yesterday. He jumps in the water, goggles fly off, he stops, then keeps going, finishes. Gets out, head hanging low. Second race, same thing happens. Off the blocks, goggles fly off, he stops dead in the water. I'm thinking, oh no, this kid's going to get out. He's going to just quit right here. Puts his goggles back on, finishes his race, comes over, dejected. As coaches, we start talking to him. Say, hey, it's all right. This is your first competition. You know, it happens to everybody. Don't let it get you down. Second swim meet of his high school career. First race. Goggles fly off. Puts them back on, finishes his race. But at that moment, when he put his goggles back on, I saw a determination that I've rarely seen in any athlete I've ever coached. He had made up his mind that that's not going to stop him, and nothing else is going to stop him. It was the last race that any goggles came off Wilson Norris's head. And since then, he started to swim. From that point, he got better and better each time he swam. And each year he swam. He started swimming year-round and began to specialize in the 500 and the 200 free relay, or freestyle, excuse me. The longest races and the hardest races you can swim in high school swimming. At our dual meets, it was always great to have Wilson swimming in those events that nobody else wanted to or could swim. He just had his best finish at regionals with the 9th and 11th place finish, even after just recently recovering from pneumonia. Now, Wilson will represent MBA at the High School National Triathlon Championships in April and is qualified to go to the USA Age Group Nationals Triathlon in August. And we're really looking forward to seeing a healthy Wilson Norris at state swim meet next week. Wilson, we're so proud of you and what you've accomplished, especially in such a short time. And Center College is the luckiest swim team in the country today. Thank you.
Okay, listen up. I can hear the stomachs growling up there, you seniors, so just a sec. I want to echo something Nathan said. You see kids doing something like this, they didn't get there on their own. They got there because they have parents and grandparents and coaches, and they have friends. You guys who are in their class, you shaped every one of them, and they helped shape you. And I hope that you guys at this table today and through the rest of this year will thank all these teachers and coaches and the staff people that you encounter here every day, because they've helped make you the kids that you are, and they've helped make you the kind of kids that I know are going to be successful. So we just join in with deep pride with your parents and your friends. We congratulate you and we wish you so well for next year in your collegiate experiences. Proud of you guys very much. And so parents, family, friends, stick around. If you want cake, make a sprint for it. Boys, you can come up, get it slowly and gently. Goodbye.